They were just toys, props from horror movies, meant to scare only on screen. But when I brought them into my home, I realized something horrifying. Monsters don't always stay trapped in films. Some follow you, and some want to own you. I've always been a horror fan. The type who never just watches a scary movie, but studies every frame, every hidden detail. Unlike most people, I wasn't satisfied with simply being scared. I wanted a piece of that fear to keep for myself. It started innocently. Posters, autographed scripts, then came replica masks. Ghostface, Freddy, Michael Myers. My collection grew, and so did my obsession. But the real turning point happened at a late-night horror convention in Chicago. There, in a dimly lit corner of the dealer's hall, was a booth that didn't look like the others. No flashy signs, no merch tables overflowing with Funko Pops. Just a long velvet cloth, and sitting on it, 3 dolls. They weren't cheap knockoffs or mass-produced replicas. These were advertised as screen-used props. The first was a cracked porcelain doll with smeared clown makeup, supposedly used in a forgotten B-movie from the 82nds. Its grin was jagged, its glassy eyes unevenly painted, so it always looked like it was staring at you, or through you. The second was a ragged cloth doll with button eyes sewn on with red thread. The vendor swore it was used in a film that was never released because cast members died mysteriously during production. The third was worse. A baby doll, its plastic face melted and warped, with burn marks across its scalp. I was told it appeared in the background of a possession movie, based on true events. Something about how it had been kept locked in a church basement after filming ended. The vendor's voice was gravelly, his tone almost mocking when I hesitated. "Props," he said. "Just props. Unless you believe in curses." I bought them all. When I placed the dolls in my display cabinet, I felt a strange rush like owning forbidden art. Guests hated them, of course. Friends refused to even look at the melted baby doll. The first night they were in my house, I woke to whispers. At first, I thought it was the TV left on, but when I checked the living room, it was silent. My collection cabinet, though, was slightly open. The clown doll had shifted. It was no longer sitting straight, but tilted forward, as if pressing its face against the glass. I blamed myself. Maybe I hadn't latched the cabinet. Maybe I'd moved it without realizing. But when I went back to bed, I heard it again. Faint, giggling. By the third night, the whispers became clear words. "Play with me. Don't leave us in here. We like your house." I began locking the cabinet with a padlock. Still, every morning, I found the dolls in slightly different positions. One night, I woke with the sharp smell of burning fabric. I followed it into the living room, where the rag doll was lying outside the cabinet. The thread around its button eyes was frayed, as though pulled apart. And next to it, drawn in ash across the floor, was a crude circle. Symbols I didn't recognize, almost like runes. I froze. My skin crawled. This wasn't a prank. I lived alone. The next day, I searched the movie it was supposedly from. Nothing. No record. No film production. It was as if the vendor had lied, or the doll's story had been erased. That night, I dreamed of children's voices chanting around me. When I woke, my hands were smeared with ash, the same kind that had appeared on the floor. It felt like the doll wasn't just moving, it was trying to use me. If the rag doll whispered, and the clown doll giggled, the melted baby doll screamed. The first time it happened, I nearly had a heart attack. A blood-curdling infant's cry echoed through my apartment at 3 a.m. I rushed to the cabinet, but the doll just sat there. Burned face, lifeless eyes, but the scream didn't stop. It came from everywhere, walls, vents, even inside my head. I grabbed the doll and shoved it in a box. But the moment I sealed it, the box began to shake violently, thudding against the cabinet glass. I dropped it in horror. The screaming stopped, and then a baby's laugh. That was worse, much worse. Weeks went by. My life became a nightmare of insomnia, paranoia, and sounds that didn't belong. One evening, while filming a YouTube video about my horror collection, the clown doll fell forward mid-recording. But when I checked the footage later, it wasn't just falling, it was walking. Frame by frame, you could see its legs shuffle, its cracked smile widening. I deleted the footage immediately, too terrified to leave proof that anyone else could see. The dolls began appearing in places I never left them on my bed. At my desk, once even in the bathroom sink. I tried burning sage, sprinkling salt, even calling a priest. He refused to enter my apartment after seeing the melted baby doll through the glass. He muttered something in Latin and left, pale as death. That's when the nightmares escalated. I'd wake to find myself standing in front of the cabinet, the key in my hand, the lock undone. Sometimes, I'd be holding one of the dolls without remembering picking it up. The rag doll's button eyes were gone. Instead, it had sewn one of my own shirt buttons into its face. They weren't just haunting me, they were claiming me. One night, I snapped. I took all 3 dolls, stuffed them in a garbage bag, and drove to an abandoned lot outside town. I doused the bag in lighter fluid and set it ablaze. The flames roared high. I laughed in relief, finally free. But the fire went out in seconds. No smoke, no ash. The bag was gone, and when I returned home, the dolls were waiting. The clown sat on my couch. The rag doll lay on my bed. The melted baby doll was in the kitchen sink, its cracked mouth stretched into something that looked like a smile. That night, I didn't sleep. I sat in a corner with every light on, whispering prayers, shaking, and then my phone buzzed. A video notification from my own phone. I opened it. It was me, sleeping, tossing, turning. The camera slowly panned across the room until it focused on the cabinet. The dolls were gone. The final frame zoomed in on my own face. My eyes were open, smiling, but I had no memory of filming it. Part 7. The truth about the vendor. Desperate. I returned to the convention the following year. Same city, same time. I searched for the vendor. I found his booth in the same corner, but it wasn't a vendor's booth. It was a memorial shrine. Candles, flowers. A photo of the man who sold me the dolls. He died 5 years earlier. The other vendors swore he hadn't sold anything since before his death. His booth hadn't been rented to anyone. I left shaking, realizing the impossible. If the vendor was dead, who sold me the dolls? I write this now because I don't know how much time I have left. The dolls are everywhere. I locked them in a trunk yesterday, but this morning, the trunk was empty. They're sitting across from me as I type, watching, waiting. The clown doll's painted smile has cracked wider. The rag doll has new buttons sewn in my shirt buttons, my coat buttons, even one from the jeans I'm wearing. The melted baby doll just rocks back and forth, even when no one touches it. The whispers are louder now, not asking me to play, not asking me to join. Just one phrase, over and over again. You're ours now. If anyone finds this, don't look for me. Don't buy horror movie props. Don't let these dolls into your home. They don't belong on a shelf. They don't belong in a movie. They belong in you. And that, dear listener, is the final warning. Some toys don't need batteries to move. Some dolls don't wait for a child to love them. Sometimes, they love you first, and they never let go. So, the next time you watch a horror movie and see that creepy little doll in the corner, ask yourself, where is it now? Because if you're hearing faint giggles in the night, if your possessions shift when you're not looking, if you feel small button eyes watching you from the shadows, you might already know the answer. The dolls have chosen, and once they do, they never stop. As the darkness closes in and the echoes of terror fade away, remember to brace yourself for the next chilling tale. If you enjoyed this journey into fear, don't forget to subscribe, like, and leave your chilling thoughts in the comments. Share this spine-tingling experience with fellow horror lovers, and let's keep the nightmares alive. Thanks friends, plez, remember me in horror stories.